The G perfect or Pa'al perfect verbs in Aramaic behave in ways similar to what occurs in Hebrew. As in Hebrew, you have both an active root and some stative roots. The difference really is in some of the endings. Notice I have here in the chart a couple of forms that have an asterisk. This is because they do not actually occur in Biblical Aramaic. They do occur in other forms of Aramaic literature, but not in Biblical Aramaic. So notice that the vowels are a little bit different. In Hebrew, the third masculine singular would have a comets. The third feminine singular has a patak tav. Second masculine singular has a double tav with a shva, katavd. The second feminine singular, if it occurred, would have a T at the end. And notice the first common singular, it has a tseri tav. That's how you can tell the first common singular. In Aramaic, unlike Hebrew, you do have different forms for the third masculine and third feminine plurals. So the shuruk comes at the end of the third masculine plural. The third feminine plural has a comets hey, which may seem a little bit different. That in Hebrew would be more likely to represent a singular. The second masculine plural has tun. The second feminine plural, if it occurred, would be tain. And the first common plural ends in na. So just note those endings. And the stative roots, and there aren't very many of them in Biblical Aramaic. The only real difference is in the vowels. The main vowel is an I, like karev or karivu, rather than an A vowel. So that's the only real difference. So the uses of the perfect in some ways are very similar to Hebrew, but there are going to be a lot more perfects in narrative past tense situations. We'll see later, Aramaic does not have a vav consecutive. And so the perfect is often used to indicate the historical perfect or simple past tense. He gave them into the power of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Occasionally, it has a kind of present tense sense with certain kinds of verbs. This occurs fairly frequently in Aramaic with the verb to know. I know that the Spirit of the holy gods is in you. Occasionally, it can have a future sense, especially in passages which are kind of predictive or prophetic. So, and the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under all the heavens will be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. What we call a present perfect. You have known all this. You, his son, O Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, although you have known. It's kind of a continuous present. And what we call the pluperfect. The vessels of gold and silver of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar had taken. This is used when you're referring to an action that is prior to the current situation going on in the narrative.